I definitely think the songwriting process is a very patient one for me. And I think that's the best way music happens, is just when you don't expect it.
Do you find yourself most of the time, getting the lyrics first or getting the music first, or is it about 50-50?
Like a weird pipeline of like, it's definitely all recorded in voice memos on my phone, but a weird pipeline of like lyrical ideas that I'll write and then just leave in a book for 3 years, and then like voice memos that I've left behind. And then when the perfect thing matches with the perfect thing, or the perfect life experience makes me think of both of these things as sort of the underscore, that's when the song happens.
And then when you when you have a kind of idea kind of fleshed out, then obviously you bring it to the band as well. I mean, how's that process for everybody to when you bring an idea in and you guys start jamming and starting to get things figured out?
Yeah, it's really great. It's a really great process because Gaines is a visionary in the sense that he really, to the T, puts together all of these complex ideas, whether it's for drums, whether it's for synth, whether it's for bass, and he'll have like a general idea of what he's thinking about. And then once he brings it to us, we're able to all just kind of put our own creative input on it, and we really bring the song to life and write for what the song needs. So it's funny. It's like you'll get an email at 5:43 in the morning because Gaines stayed up till 4 the night before working on an idea. Be like, hey, what do you think of this idea? And then you wake up and you're like, holy shit, that's fucking dope. So then we start, working on it. We start conversing back and forth. And then once we hit the studio, that's where the magic happens. We all start putting polishing our parts together and adding our own individualistic, finishing touches on it.
Yeah. I also want to add to the songwriting component. I think that the process has to change over time for the songs to stay fresh. And definitely early on, it was a solitary process, sort of something I would do in college and bring home and work on with the guys in the summer. But now, just sort of 40, 50 songs in, I'm just realizing and I'm appreciating collaboration in songwriting. And I think we're all starting to get to this spot where we're really itching to write songs together. Of course, COVID's kept us apart, but we're making all these efforts to at least new songs be a collaborative process in the songwriting level too.
Yeah, I think putting the song together, production, really getting like the tracks kind of down has been really always collaborative. But Gaines has been kind of the composer, so to speak. So he's got like kind of a very fully fleshed idea, and then we're developing it. And so I think as we've all, kind of gotten more confidence in the songwriting process, asked him about his process and all that sort of thing, had, philosophical conversations while we're all staying up until 4 a.m. I think we're getting a little bit more comfortable all dipping into the songwriting process a little bit more.
And I'm a firm believer that like every person has a hit in them, but only a finite amount. So now I'm trying to coax it out of these guys and take more of a backseat if possible.
What's probably the quickest that you guys have written a song together when you bring an idea?
That this song was sort of written in one day, Gimme. And yeah, sometimes they'll come, sometimes it'll be like a 3-month thing of like painfully putting things together. But Gimme really just came one day. I was unemployed at the time, so it was pretty easy to just devote a full day to a song. I think one day is the quickest.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I love to hear about like the songwriting process and kind of how artists like yourselves, do what you do. And it seems to be, one of those things where, sometimes you have an idea that just comes to you, and sometimes that idea doesn't go into fruition until later on. So it's great to be able to hear that that's your process as well. Let's see here. Gaines, how many guitars do you own, by the way?
Probably about 10. And I know way more talented guitarists than me that have only like 2. So it's like I have a bloated collection, I know.
Okay. Okay, big question. Did you name any of the guitars at all?
I name all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, Gaines habitually does not buy an instrument unless he can name it.
Yeah, that's part of the process.
It's a rare thing. I've only heard like maybe one or two people that have ever said that they named the guitars nowadays. Everybody else does not. So that's a really rare thing. And it's got to be easier for you on stage because then you can if you have a sound guy or whatever, and you need to change guitars, you can at least tell them what's the name of the guitar is, right?
They get very confused. Yes.
This one's for Get Me Rachel.
Brian, tell me a little bit about your drums and what you use currently on stage.
So, as far as like I guess any local music scene, or especially New York music scene, since pretty much everyone commutes via subway and everything, the majority of the time I'm really just using backline gear. Usually it's a 4-piece kit, snare, rack tom, floor tom, bass drum, and then hi-hat and 2 cymbals. I like to keep it very compact, very tight, but I also like big cymbals and big drums for that very bombastic Ronnie Vannucci type of feel. So yeah, but as far as like the drums that I play, if we have like our own headline show, or if we're going to a venue where I can bring my own equipment, I actually use Q Drum Co. drums. This company out of Los Angeles that makes really cool mahogany maple shells, and they also do a lot of really cool stuff with different metals. They have like galvanized steel drum sets, copper, aluminum. They have some really cool stuff. So, but as far as my current setup, yeah, whatever the backline has, and then also I use this electronic rolling kit back there. I don't know if you can see it; it's kind of hidden in the corner. But I use electronic drums on stage too. Every
game changer in small venues.
It's funny because Brian got the band together because he didn't want to play in a plastic set anymore. Now we just got him trapped on this plastic set for the live streaming stuff.
Exactly.
And I don't get to talk too often about with synths and keyboardists like yourself, Jenks. I mean, tell me a little bit about your equipment, what gear that you use.
Sure. So for live, we to keep things flexible, we use Ableton as a DAW. And we have MIDI controllers that will run either massive as a digital emulator, or we will sample our own instruments. And Alex Gaines and I, he's not just a guitar collector, he's also a synth collector. So we collect a lot of retro synths, retro modules for sampling. And then, as the live show scales a bit, we're going to be incorporating them a little bit more. So we have a keytar, a Korg keytar, we have a micro Korg, we have 2 Yamaha synths, a CS and a CP, and a Roland emulator that emulates the Juno 06. So, I think the only thing that I'm missing as far as my dream setup would be a Prophet, but it's that's an investment. So saving my way up for that one.
Now, with that in mind, I mean, with the idea of getting your samples and all that as well, how is it? It's probably been a little bit easier nowadays just to be able to communicate and to be able to kind of convey musical ideas via the internet when you guys can't get into a situation like that. How's that been for you, especially this past year when, like you said, you may not be able to see each other on a long time basis. How's that for you to be able to share ideas via the computer and to be able to produce stuff like this?
It's been great. We have a private collaborative SoundCloud playlist for just the 4 of us, where we share, if we have like a 1-minute idea or like a little demo, we'll share it on there. And then if we have ideas for each other, we send each other stems, and it's actually been really good for recording and kind of creating new ideas. That's been really good, actually, especially this past year.
And with the quarantine, we have such a backlog of like completed songs too. So we can like go on and listen to Shiffley album 4, or as we see it for now. Obviously, anything could happen. I might not even get that far, but we sort of have like this whole discography hidden on SoundCloud on the back end. Don't hack your computers.
Well, I mean that's great to hear. I mean, like you said, it's just kind of interesting the way everything's kind of ended up happening. But like I said, hopefully things open up again as much as possible. Now, by the sounds of it, you guys have been out here to Vegas. Have you guys been out here to Vegas? I don't think you've been out here before, but obviously to visit, I guess.
I love Vegas. I love your hometown, or I don't know if that is your hometown, but your current residence. I love it. I've been twice now to Vegas, once with family and then once on my own for fun. I'm a little bit boring outside of being a quote unquote cool drummer. I'm a big golfer. So I went on a golf trip with my buddy to Vegas, and we literally just ate, played golf, drink, a little bit of gambling, not too much. I'd rather spend my money on the delicious food that's in the all the different hotels. And well, I pretty much gave my money to Gordon Ramsay all week. That's what I did. So yeah, I love Vegas. I love the scenery, love the environment, especially for live music too. I would love to play there one day. The group would love to make our way to Vegas one day, and I think one day we will. Once things gets back to normal, everyone's safe, everyone's doing their thing. Can't wait to get back there out on the road and make it to the West Coast.
Yeah, I mean, Vamped out here is a really good rock club that's out here. I mean, a lot of the clubs out here are more dance oriented on the Strip, but there's quite a few places in terms of the rock venues that we're seeing out here too. So,
Nice.
it'll be interesting if you guys can be able to get out here as well.
We'll have to hit you up when we're making our way out, Mark.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Hopefully things open up here a lot more often. I mean, we only have maybe 25% of the casinos that are open, and even that's limited. So, so hopefully things kind of get out as well. I mean, the scene out there in New York, I mean, it's crazy, to say the least, in terms of music and the venues as well. I mean, funny story. I actually, I'm trying to remember which one I went to. It's, I cannot seem to remember the top of my head what the name of the venue was, but I did air guitar out there. Actually, I competed in air guitar.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Do you know what part of New York you were in?
I'm trying to remember. It's a famous club. I can't seem to remember off the top of my head what the name of the club is, though.
In Manhattan or Brooklyn?
I think it was Brooklyn.
Oh.
Ooh. Okay. Let's see.
I was saying that sounds like a knitting factory thing.
Oh, it could be.
They host like a variety of events.
Oh, actually, it might be. I take that back. It might be Manhattan.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to remember.
Did you win?
I kind of remember it was featured in Infinite Playlist.
Oh, it's Arlene's Grocery. Infinite Playlist. Oh, never mind. I was going to say Arlene's Grocery, maybe.
No.
That's,
no, it wasn't. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. It'll come to me when I get off air, pretty much. But
did you win the contest?
Yeah, what?
Did you win the contest?
I did not. I ended up getting in the top 5, I think, on that one. I did. I've done it a couple times. I've done it once in New York, once in Chicago, and twice in Los Angeles.
That's
and then one.
Ooh.
And then after the Vegas one, I stopped.
Maybe we could get an air guitar cover of one of our songs.
What?
Maybe we could get an air guitar cover of one of our songs.
Well, that might be an idea for a video. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the music's out as well. I mean, you guys are kind of somewhat working on an album to come out, and hopefully you guys will get that idea as well. I mean, anything else going on with you guys?
Yeah, just, keep up with the new tracks. Gimme is out now currently on all streaming platforms. And to keep up with the latest Shiffley information, you could go to our Instagram. It's at Shiffley Music. Shiffley is spelled with 2 F's. So yeah, that's pretty much what we got.
And pretty soon we'll be putting out a music video for it the next couple weeks or so.
Yeah.
How's that process been for you?
This one was fun. This one was really fun. Again, it's interesting to shoot in a pandemic. We had to test the crew, test ourselves, quarantine for 2 weeks. It was 6 people. And we got an Airbnb in the middle of nowhere, upstate New York, like right on the New York-Pennsylvania border, and just filmed for like 12 hours a day for a long weekend. And we're putting it all together now, but it was a blast because, for one thing, we all hadn't been together for longer than, 3 hours or 4 hours for practice. So to be together for 3 days straight and know that we are safe to be together at that point was actually really, really, really fun. It was a harken back to the old times kind of thing. But yeah, it's, as far as filming, I had a great time. And actually Gaines and our bass player, Sean, have been doing a lot of the video mixing and editing and production side.
And we have a very talented 2-person crew, our bud Tommy and Josh. They came with all the goods and made it happen.
Yeah, Greener Pictures is Tommy's project. We'll shout him out. He's a great director. He really gets us like out of our heads, which is awesome.
Well, that's great to hear. So people can go to their go on YouTube